Welcome to Ravings of a Lunatic with Kris Jobson, where we uncover truths hiding in plain sight, where we dive into our blind spot to reveal the obvious, and where illusions vanish when we dare to face our fear. Thank you for joining me here today. If this is your first time, please note that during this episode, I will introduce to you some powerful affirmations that will help you set bold, empowering, and positive new intentions. While towards the end of today's episode, I invite you to join me in a short, guided declaration to further ground these affirmations in your mind, your body, and your vibration. Welcome to episode 10, Time to be an Expert on You, Part 2. In last week's episode, Part 1, we highlighted 4 steps we can take to begin to become an expert on ourselves. Step 1 is to let go of negative labels. Step 2 is to pay attention to our choices. Step 3 is to confront our fears. And step 4 is to examine our interpretations. In this episode, we will take a deeper look at these 4 steps to learn how to understand and utilize them to improve our lives. Step 1 to becoming an expert on ourselves is to let go of negative labels. Do you punish yourself? Are you the first one to put yourself down and label yourself? What do I mean by this? Well, how many times have we all said these types of things to ourselves? Like, I can't do anything right. I am so stupid. What an idiot I am. Things like this and much, much worse. You know what I mean. How can we demean and label ourselves in that way? Why would we be so mean to ourselves? This harsh labeling is a chronic human habit, a negative habit that only leads to self-sabotage. A label is us condensing our energy down into a word and then attaching that word to ourselves. That is you confining yourself, all of you, into a word. Now you are stuck in the limitation of that word. It's like a prison. That label becomes your personal prison. And the funny things with labels that we attach to ourselves is that we find ourselves living up to that label. So I've attached a label to myself. That, of course, isn't really who I am. It cannot even contain all that I am. But I have labeled myself as dumb or stupid or whatever it may be, just because I have probably made some choices that didn't work out well for me. But that label is so full of power, and it is used negatively to hold me down, to squeeze me into a tight box. That label distracts me from who I truly am, because I could never be stupid or dumb. I may make some stupid or dumb choices, but here's the thing. By putting that label on myself, not only is that choice a stupid choice, but now I become stupid. And then I find myself making more and more stupid choices because your subconscious does not see a difference. Once you've labeled yourself, you have actually empowered yourself with that label. And now your subconscious believes, wow, you've attached something to your identity. It must be important to you. So let's make sure we can embody that identity really well. So Kris has called himself stupid. Okay, great. Let us make sure that he thinks stupid thoughts and does stupid things and engages in stupid experiences as often as possible. Let's make him live up to that label to the fullest and make him the most stupid Kris of all time. That's what you're doing. You're giving yourself a directive. You're giving your life, your subconscious, your energy a directive with a label, with every label you assume. So be very careful of the labels that you use. A label is a powerful thing, and it also distracts you from who you really are. It becomes a veil over your eyes. I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. No, that is not who you are. Who you are is the space in which any choice can be made. You are not the choice. You are the choice maker. You are more powerful than you realize. So I may have done a stupid thing or made a stupid choice. But by labeling myself stupid, now I keep making stupid choices because I am stuck with that label, stuck in that role of stupid. I have imprisoned myself there. But without that label, I can make a new choice. Wow, that was really stupid of me. I must be stupid. No, wait a minute, stop right there. I correct myself. Kris, I made a stupid choice. I am not stupid. That choice was stupid. And even using that word stupid about myself or anyone is a negative habit. It was a choice that didn't work for me, a choice that is not giving me what I want in return, a choice that is not benefiting me. There are many other more positive and accurate ways of describing those types of choices instead of calling them stupid or dumb. However, even if we do find ourselves using stupid or dumb and other words like that, if I call myself stupid, I catch myself and realize, oh, wait, I am not stupid. I just made a stupid choice. And instantly, right now, in this very moment, I can make a better choice. So without labeling myself as stupid, I have not imprisoned myself to that energy and mindset of stupid choices, where only stupid choices are available to me. Without the label, I can see the choice I made separate from my true self. Remember, I am not the choice. I am the powerful choice maker, and I am free to make a better choice right now. Don't define yourself based on some bad choices. You are the one who can choose a better choice than the one you made before. That power is yours, now and always. Wow. I am the one who can choose better choices all the time in my life, whenever I want. Whenever I make a mistake, I can make a choice to fix it or a choice to change it right away. I am not stuck in any one choice. I am free to make my next choice in this second be better than the choice I made before. I can always choose better. That is how I learn and grow. My choices can keep growing and expanding into better and better choices, better and better things, and better experiences. I am a never ending, expansive person who can always choose better. Repeat this affirmation with me. Affirmation. I am the choice maker, and I have the power right now to make a better choice than the one I made before. I am not stuck. I can always choose better, and I do so now. End of affirmation. So when we release the habit of labeling ourselves and others, because we now understand how detrimental it is, we then create an open, free space within ourselves, a space that can invite in beneficial choices, that then create beneficial experiences. The label limits us to the world of that label. With no label, I create the open space within myself that invites in billions of beneficial choices. I am not imprisoned. I am free to be all of me. Now I can discover and understand more of who I really am. This open and free space is where you can discover all the wonder and beauty that lie within you. The space where you can experience and enjoy that beauty in a magnificent way. This is the first step towards becoming an expert on ourselves. Repeat this affirmation with me. Affirmation. I give up my habit of labeling myself and others, for no label can fully encompass the powerful spirit that we are. End of affirmation. The next step to becoming an expert on ourselves is to pay attention to our choices. Are you aware of the choices you are making throughout your day? We have to be aware that every waking moment, from you open your eyes in the morning, you have to make choices, and that is how you move through your daily life. You make a choice to get out of bed, to go to the bathroom, to take a pee, a choice to think, a choice not to think, a choice to speak, a choice not to speak, a choice to do, or a choice not to do. Whether you are conscious of these choices or not, these choices are being made every second throughout your day. And all these choices you make allow you to walk through your life, to live your life. Everything you could think, say, and do needs you to make a choice about it first. And it will not happen without that choice-making input. Your life needs your act of choosing, of making choices for your life to take shape in any and all ways. So whether you do it consciously or unconsciously, know that a choice is being made always. And if you are not aware of these choices, then that means you are moving in your life in some automatic, zombie-like manner, where you are not actually aware of the many choices you are making that shape your life. Generally, we fall into this zombie-like habit when we engage in regular daily activity that we do all the time, our routine, like when we watch TV or when we go shopping. We are just drawn by everything we see, all the advertising, or when using our cell phones and devices, where we are just absorbing everything that is coming at us without any mental filter or mental awareness. That is when you allow outside things to imprint on you. And if you're not choosing consciously in that moment, then whatever you are looking at is choosing for you. You have been captured in a kind of hypnosis that you do not even realize or perceive. But something has a hold of you, of your emotions and your mind. So when you're in your routine, be aware. Is what I'm looking at good for me? Or have I been pulled in here by some clever trick that keeps me giving my attention over to it? Do I actually want to be involved with this, or am I hooked? Do I choose this, or have I allowed this thing to choose for me, to use my energy without my conscious consent? Yes. Ask yourself these questions when you are engaged in the many attractions and distractions that exist in today's society. Do I want to see this thing now? Do I want to give this thing my attention? Do I want to allow my psyche to buy into this thing, to buy into this story, this information? Just be conscious to make sure that what you are energizing is actually good and beneficial for you. Something that is taking you further on your chosen path. Life is full of all types of things and situations to be experienced, but we must do so consciously. To not zone out into zombie land where you just absorb all sorts of information and energy that you did not filter, that you did not realize will penetrate your mind and start to program you, to influence you. Be aware and make sure that whatever you're seeing, you are choosing to see it. That whatever you're giving your attention to, you are choosing to let it into your experience. And it is not happening to you and through you without you realizing it. Repeat this affirmation with me. Affirmation. I revoke my consent to be influenced by the things that I have voluntarily or involuntarily given my attention to. End of affirmation. The next step to becoming an expert on ourselves is to confront our fears. Do I spend my life running away from things that scare me? Do I use my life force energy to run away from a person, avoid a responsibility or a situation of the past because it scares me? Well, in running away from our fears, our focus is to get away from them, to not engage with whatever that fear is, that responsibility, that person or situation. We must avoid them at all costs. But in that effort to run away from these things, our focus is on what we want to get away from and not on what we want to go towards. In running away, we have deprived ourselves of a true goal that calls us forward. And instead, we are too focused on the scary things. They are still too important to us. They have stolen our focus. And here's the thing about fear. When you actually stop running and take a deep look at that thing that you fear, when you confront that fear and stare it in the face, you see that your fear seems to have power over you only when you run away from it. Because your fear can be the most scary in your imagination. Only in your imagination can you exaggerate things, where that thing becomes this giant life or death experience that you just need to never deal with. But that's only in your mind, only in your imagination. And also understand this, your fear in this case is just informing you that your interpretation, your view of the thing or situation has robbed you of your energy and your power. Please note, I did not say the situation is causing your fear. No, I said your view and interpretation of it is causing your fear. Which means you are causing your fear, not the situation. Remember, fear is just an emotion that serves a purpose. It works for you. It is showing you when your thoughts and beliefs regarding the situation are leaving you powerless. The fear is just trying to warn you that your view of the situation needs to be clarified and upgraded. You need to examine your thoughts and beliefs about the situation to come to a new and more empowered understanding of it. To do that, you must confront that fear head on and decide to deal with it. Investigate your view on the situation and identify where you need to see more of the bigger picture, where you maybe need more information, where you believe something that was too narrow and a more expansive understanding is required of you. This will give you renewed energy and power around the subject, but only if you are willing to take on a new viewpoint. If you remain in your old view, then you remain in a place where you are stuck with the same type of limited outcome. But if you expand, then you allow space for a new view to come in. This will help you find balance around the subject and the fear will begin to fade. Now, from that new vantage point, when you look at the situation, you realize something. That whether it's an earthquake, a breakup, or losing something important to you, whatever the grand situation may be, there is some way to deal with it. And in time, you can get through it. Life can go on. This once fearful thing has now been downgraded to a challenge. And we face many challenges in our lives. Sometimes big ones, sometimes small ones. But with challenges, big or small, there is hope of a solution, or even a slight improvement. The fearful thing has been downgraded to a challenge that I no longer need to run away from. I just need to deal with it like any other challenge in my life. And you find the time and the space to deal with it. Yes, it may be frustrating or demanding or even stressful, but you don't need to fear it anymore. With the right mindset and perspective, with the right assistance, we can deal with a challenge. But a challenge does not need your fear. It needs your focus and your attention. By giving ourselves the time, the space, and the tools to investigate our fears, we discover how to bring ourselves into alignment and release those constraints that hold us back. Repeat this affirmation with me. Affirmation. I am ready to confront my fears, to examine them and heal them. I reclaim my power and find new balance within myself. End of affirmation. The next step to becoming an expert on ourselves is to examine our interpretations. Look at the way you receive and perceive all things in your life. Be aware of these interpretations. Each and every moment that arises, you perceive it and attach a meaning to it and come to a certain conclusion about it. This is how you interpret each moment, how you make it make sense to you. This is your personal way of assessing life, your personal lens you see life through. You interpret automatically in every moment, and you must recognize what lens you are looking through to arrive at the conclusion of that interpretation. So we know that any two people can have the same experience in the exact way and yet arrive at two different interpretations of that experience. Yes, because interpretations are subjective. Everyone has their own point of view and their own understanding of things, and that is valid for them. There is no one interpretation that is standard for everyone, because there is not just one way to look at life, one way to think, and one way to perceive life. There are many ways to do so. Each of the billions of people on this planet can interpret a singular experience in a completely different way, and all interpretations are valid. So if there are many ways to interpret situations, then the question is, am I and are you choosing to interpret in a way that empowers you, or are you choosing to interpret in a way that disempowers you? The choice is yours. Because one choice will bring in feelings of empowerment, while the other choice will bring in feelings of disempowerment. Yet both choices will affect the quality of your life, and each of those choices will take you to a very different outcome. Disempowerment causes lower vibrational feelings like fear, disappointment, doubt, and anger, while empowerment calls in higher vibrational feelings of clarity, determination, appreciation, passion, and joy. Your interpretation sets you up for one of these categories: lower vibration or higher vibration. You must choose. It doesn't matter how society or people in authority tell you to interpret something, you can always choose to interpret it how you choose. The choice is always yours. For some, a rainy, cloudy day could be interpreted as a bad and depressing day, but you can choose to interpret that rainy day as a calm and soothing day, and that may keep you in a good, productive mood. You have the power to choose. Do not allow anyone or anything to choose for you. Your interpretation is your business, not theirs, because the quality of your life depends on it. However, how we interpret life is often affected unconsciously by the stories, the beliefs, and experiences of our upbringing and our past. These are the filters, the lens through which we see and interpret the present moment in our lives. You may be in a new experience now, but are you interpreting it through the lens of the past? Are you not really interpreting this present moment in a clear and open way because you are projecting the past onto it? Your past conclusions are getting in your way. This will keep you stuck in the past because you paint your new life today with the brush of the past. Your old program of the past is outdated. The conclusions you came to then were maybe the best you could come up with then. But have you revisited those conclusions to see if they are still relevant for the life you are living today? Do they still apply? Or is there a higher truth, a more effective solution, a newer, more beneficial way to see and perceive that you must now allow yourself to accept? Are you using this outdated you of yesterday to live your life today? We are in a society where technology is moving and advancing extremely fast. Our cell phones, computers, all our devices get a system update or upgrade so very often. The old programs just stop working because they are no longer effective for our new way of life. So we upgrade them often to keep up with how much we are advancing. So these programs we use in the outside world are updated and upgraded almost daily. Yet as humans, our personal inner programs in our minds and beliefs are still the old programs from yesterday, from last year, from 10 and 20 years ago, from our childhood. These programs inside us are outdated, yet we are still using them to live our lives. How can we do that? Just like those old programs in our devices that no longer work, these old personal programs within us, they too no longer work. They create chaos in our lives. No wonder we have such turmoil, destruction, and deception in society. Too many old programs still running our lives and running society, and running it into the ground, literally. Who we were yesterday is not who we are today. We are always becoming more, growing and expanding in numerous ways, and we must update our belief systems, our interpretations, and our understandings to keep us up to speed with our own growth. For if not, we keep recreating the past, and we pollute our new present moments in life with the shadow of the past, stuck in that loop. We must release those old conclusions, those outdated beliefs, and replace them with their upgraded versions. This new way of interpreting will then create a clean slate for you to allow the newness of who you are today to give you a new understanding that you may have to upgrade again tomorrow to allow yet a newer understanding to come in. This is how we grow consistently and powerfully into who we are meant to become. Moment to moment, day by day, you are becoming more of who you are meant to be. You are always growing and shifting. Enjoy that process and give yourself the space to actually experience it and to put it to use. Repeat this affirmation with me. Affirmation. I give myself permission to be a new and improved version of myself. I upgrade all limited beliefs and I remain open and willing to let in a higher perspective of life. End of affirmation. Shortly, I will take you through a powerful guided declaration where you can ground all of today's affirmations deep within your mind, your body, and your vibration. But first, let me share something with you. For every challenge and situation you face, for every trauma you've lived that has affected you in some way, there are methods and techniques to not only heal and overcome these difficulties, but to learn and grow from them, transforming yourself into better and better versions as you move through your life. These are specific methods and techniques that I have made available through the books and courses that I have created. I have written 4 books on mindfulness and self-worth that are available on Amazon. Each book guides you through a 60-day journey to self-development. In addition, I have a 21-day online course of video lessons, worksheets, meditations, affirmations, journaling, and much more that dives into developing self-love, building self-confidence, and positive boundaries. Both the books and the course use a method I have created that provides a deep dive into self to investigate what truly makes you tick and give you the insights, the knowledge, and discovery you need to transform yourself from the inside out. Just as there's a strategy and technique to play the piano, to be a lawyer, to be a doctor, there is a strategy and technique for you to be in your self-mastery, for you to understand and know yourself, so when issues arise, you are ready and equipped to handle them. You can find all this material at ravingsofaluna-tik.com. Now, please repeat this personal declaration with me. This is a mantra, a vow to yourself that allows you to step into your potential. Within this declaration, you will find the series of affirmations that we have done in this episode to allow you to absorb them deep in your mind, your body, and your vibration. I will repeat each affirmation 2 times. Be present. Be focused and alert as you repeat this declaration. Let's begin. My personal declaration. This is my quiet time with myself. My private safe space to open up and be completely honest, supportive, yet firm with myself. In this space, I will not judge myself. I will be my very own best friend. Here is where I cultivate positive new habits, where I build empowering new beliefs, and where I give myself permission to transform into the next best version of me. I know there may be moments where I may feel resistance to this journey, but I am willing to commit to this practice out of love and respect for myself. This is how I grow from joy to joy and from power to power. I am ready to be the best version of myself, and I give myself the opportunity to do so now by allowing the following affirmations to sink deep within my mind, my body, and my vibration. Affirmation number 1. I am the choice maker, and I have the power right now to make a better choice than the one I made before. I am not stuck. I can always choose better, and I do so now. End of affirmation. Now once again, I am the choice maker, and I have the power right now to make a better choice than the one I made before. I am not stuck. I can always choose better, and I do so now. Affirmation number 2. I give up my habit of labeling myself and others, for no label can fully encompass the powerful spirit that we are. End of affirmation. And again, I give up my habit of labeling myself and others, for no label can fully encompass the powerful spirit that we are. Affirmation number 3. I revoke my consent to be influenced by the things that I have voluntarily or involuntarily given my attention to. End of affirmation. And one more time. I revoke my consent to be influenced by the things that I have voluntarily or involuntarily given my attention to. Affirmation number 4. I am ready to confront my fears, to examine them and heal them. I reclaim my power and find new balance within myself. End of affirmation. Now once again, I am ready to confront my fears, to examine them and heal them. I reclaim my power and find new balance within myself. Affirmation number 5. I give myself permission to be a new and improved version of myself. I upgrade all limited beliefs, and I remain open and willing to let in a higher perspective of life. End of affirmation. And again, I give myself permission to be a new and improved version of myself. I upgrade all limited beliefs, and I remain open and willing to let in a higher perspective of life. End of declaration. This podcast is created to help each of us to become an expert on ourselves and to become the person we know we can be. Here's a suggestion for how you can best utilize this podcast. You can use it as a practice, as your personal transformation practice. You can create a Ravings of a Luna-Tik journal of your own, where you write down the questions I ask you and allow yourself to answer them fully. This will be your journal for you to know more of who you are, to understand yourself on a deeper level, and to step into the next best version of you. You can also write down any quotes or parts of the episode that connect with you. I do this practice myself, and it has proven to serve me well. If this resonates with you, go ahead and give it a try. Thank you for joining me here today. Please join me next week, Thursday, for our next episode.